World War I was the first truly industrialized war, and the sheer carnage pushed many soldiers beyond their breaking point. Shell shock was the term used within the medical community to describe uncontrollable shaking, twitching or crying, flashbacks, nightmares, or insomnia, along with a host of new and perplexing symptoms for doctors to diagnose. The Canadian Army Medical Corps ran several specialty hospitals in Europe, where soldiers suffering from shell shock could rest and recuperate.
As a diagnosed psychiatric disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder is only a few decades old. But what we now refer to as PTSD has been documented since ancient times, often among soldiers suffering from exposure to warfare. The First World War saw increased awareness of and attention to PTSD, or shell shock as it was then called. This awareness was the result of the development of modern psychology, but also of the large number of cases of shell shock caused by the horrible conditions of the war, and, quite simply, the sheer number of people involved in the conflict.
The Canadians were amazed at the apparently inexhaustible stores of shells, bombs, and engineering material that met their eyes on every side.
Because so little was known about shell shock, treatment ranged from physical therapy to electric shock therapy. The objective was to heal the afflicted so that they could return to active service. This was a sentiment shared by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, who was devoted to his duty to serve his country and strongly believed it was every man's obligation to serve. McCrae joined the war effort to help win it, repairing broken soldiers who suffered from what we now know as post-traumatic stress disorder was an essential part of getting them back to the battle.
During the war, McCrae himself suffered deep depression, which was likely undiagnosed PTSD, and yet he soldiered on, as did the great many of those who served in the war.
It is estimated that some 16,000 Canadian soldiers who served in the First World War suffered from shell shock.